He's finally awakened. He is the primarch of the First Legion with the Ptus Astartes, Lord of Caliban, Lionel Johnson. With the Great Rift splitting the Imperium in two, the Imperium is struggling to keep up with all the threats. But now the Lion is back to us at the turn of the tide. Ah, maybe that one was Gandalf, but who cares? Today we have the joy to have the second Primarch figure released by JOYTOY. It is a huge box and he looks amazing. Let's look at it without wasting any more time. The box is larger than Guilliman's one, and it really feels like worth of a Primarch. Let's get rid of the plastic seals, and with a bit of struggling with the tight packaging, here he is in all of his plastic protection. A few seconds of awe before going to peel off the veils, and gosh, he really is awesome. Great armor, great face sculpt, great painting. It looks like JOYTOY really has put a lot of effort in this figure, and it shows. In this first foam layer there are also four additional heads, suitable for all tastes. My policy is to always display primarchs with unhelmeted heads, but this winged helmet is really tempting me. Does it not look like a real knight helmet? Okay, it is a direct port of the miniature, but it is still a great work. Then we have the hooded heads, barefaced and helmeted. To be honest, the green looks too bright and plain, the face instead looks great. Same for the hooded helmet, which apparently shows that the wings on the sides can be removed for an increased neatness bonus. Personally, I think a bit nonsensical for a 3+ meters tall giant going around trying to pass undetected. But this is 40k, and so the rule of cool is always the dominant law. For sure there is enough variety for a lot of different tastes here. Starting with the Emperor's shield, there is a nice iconography with an eagle, or is that an hippogriff, biting a serpent. Nice contrast of red and gold with some highlights too. Those engraved crosses could have been darker though. It is still a great piece of armor. And I must say that the Emperor has a great taste for war tools. On the internal side we have the handle and a clip for attaching it to the forearm for increased stability. Then we have a scepter with a long flying sail. Another nice piece, even if the gold could have benefited from some washing. The scepter itself is something that usually the watchers will carry, but why not also showing the noble attitude of the lion himself with his scepter in hand too? Let's get to the sword, which we need to extract from the scabbard. Judgment is a big power sword, but not as cool as the Emperor's sword granted to Guilliman. The scabbard is nicely made, but tainted by the typo in the text, probably due to some Gothic characters, or I guess it is a typo. Let me know if the miniature has the same error, or if it is just poetic license. It is a bit of a shame, because it is pretty much perfect for all other aspects. Let's skip the hands, because there is nothing much to say about them, and we finally get to the small purple Jawas. They are pretty much two little statues. No face, but a nicely highlighted cape. You have just the minimum room for moving the arms to grab something, typically the scabbard and the scepter, but you could also make them hold the helmet too. Same for the other little guy, which has an exposed armored fist, but it is the sibling of the other one. The lion must be the richest Primarch. So many accessories, heads, and even 2 servants in his retinue. While our little watcher attends to its duty, this is the entire content after we have extracted it. Everything looks great, there is plenty of options, but the lion remains the centerpiece in this deployment. No discussion about that. a few seconds of glory on YouTube for the Judgment scabbard, and then let's move on and get a closer look to the lion himself. The backpack has this Valor inscription and the side vents styled as small wings. The lion head on the shoulder is lovely, with even some washing around the eyes. The lion pelt is nicely made and does not hinder articulations too much. While the articulations are good, all of these capes do not really contribute to make it even better, especially for legs. It is not dramatic, but still you don't have the same freedom that you had with Guilliman. Poltron's articulations instead is similar to what we have with the Ultramarines primarch, so you can raise them to achieve a T-pose, which is a nice improvement over normal spacemarines, +1 for the lion. Time to put him on a rotating stand. I forgot to mention it, but the pistol on the holster is fixed. You cannot extract it, but it is still a great decoration that increased the lion's fashion. Overall, the look and the paint job is amazing. It is a great figure, a near perfect representation of the lion as we expect him to be according to the artwork and the miniature. And finally, the long-awaited moment has come. What about meeting the Imperial Regent and join forces to restore the glory of the Imperium of Man? I gave the Ultramarines Primarch the awesome cape from Max Bird's, and I think it really fits the idea of Guilliman as a master strategist. The lion instead is the field general, always ready to fight and destroy any threats. They are quite distinct figures. Kudos to JOYTOY for these primarchs, since they are really some of the better figures they ever made, or which I own. Just to show articulation, let's raise the sword to the sky, ready to challenge enemies and of course destroy them. What I really like about this figure is that you can set up a lot of poses according to the known artworks. And your own creativity, of course. You have plenty of articulations, a shield and a sword, many head options, and of course the two little Javas. For example, he can advance towards the enemy. Try to stop him, Xenoscam. The helmeted head is another option that I think to be a great alternative. The wings on the side sometimes may get into the iron halo behind the head, but it is not a blocker. You can move the head with comfort anyway. And the result is amazing. Look at the unstoppable knight going for the kill. So, what do I have to say? Just get him. It is amazing, you will never regret it. It has a great shelf presence, lots of accessories and articulations for every display idea you may have. You can't go wrong with him. Well, that's all I have to say. Before you get him, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. For the lion!